Hello again, everyone. Jeff Pirashot here for Swish 710 Bowling, and I've got a ball review today that I'm so excited to do. I've never been more excited to do a ball review. I've got the 3D offset hammer, the new one from Hammer. If you're old like me, you probably had one of these. You probably loved it. This is a top 5 ball of all time, and they're re-releasing it with the same core and an updated cover. The one I'm throwing is going to be 14 pounds, but you can see the numbers for the 15 and the 14. And like I said, this is a top 5 ball of all time. And if you had one, you probably liked it because everybody loved this ball. So Hammer, you need to make sure that you do a good job with this ball because there's going to be a lot of people really excited to throw it, and it needs to be done correctly. So you can see it's 45 by 5 by 35, which is the same exact drill pattern I had on every 3D offset hammer I've ever had. And I'm going to keep putting it on them all because I love it. So now you can see, though, from the pictures from before, the ball's dull, and the original one was not. The original one was like a sheen, kind of half shine kind of thing. It wasn't polished or glassed, but this one was dull. And the one I'm using now, full disclosure, I used it in the league the night before, and I put 2 games on it. So this one's got a little bit of oil in the cover stock. The thing I noticed in league is it started, when I got a little bit of oil in the cover, it started hooking maybe about 2 or 3 boards less than it did maybe the first 5 shots, which is good actually because, well, first of all, the ball rolls great. Core is the same, ball rolls just like it did before. It's got that really strong, smooth, continuous motion in the back, but a little bit of kick, a little bit of pop. They put a little pearl in the cover, I'm told, and it helps it get just moving a little more in the back. But this has the updated cover they put on it, and I just think it's a little too dull. Sometimes I felt like it was forcing me a little more left than I wanted to be, because this is a ball I wanted to throw into the dry and just have it pop right off of it. And with that dull cover, you have to more keep it in the oil than you are trying to put it into the dry. So it's a little different way of thinking about how you want the ball to get the reaction you want, where you want to throw it. I wasn't thrilled with that, but keep that in the back of your head. We'll come back to that later after I do some ball comparisons. But as you can see, sometimes like I felt like I was a little too far left and I had to maybe throw it a bit too far to the right like I do here. And it's just not that strong back end ball that's going to pop back from there. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got to move more left, so I got to move my target left. And you're going to be playing around with it a little bit just because the cover is stronger. So maybe you're going to want to use it on a little more oil, but it's not the biggest hooking ball in your bag either. So there's a bit of a conundrum there of what to do. But I mean, it fits in an arsenal. There's a place for it, but you're also looking for that original reaction. So like I said, we'll come back to that in a second. Let's do some comparisons first and see how they go. So let's do a couple of comparisons. I took a couple of balls on the market that I think are somewhat close to where this ball sits. So first I did the Rotogrip RSTX1, and the hook is about the same, but I felt like the RSTX1 was a little more forward on the back end. I think the core is a little stronger in that one. So it was just a little more forward in the back. It went a little longer too because I think it's hybrid, so it's got a little more pearl in the cover that this one does. But they were close as far as hook potential. So now I compared it to the Motive Jackal Ghost, which it's a ball above. So I just tried to overthrow that one, get it to the right because I thought it was going to hook too much, and it didn't. So I just decided to parallel move it in and slow it down just a little bit because it's just a stronger ball. And now you can see it's more where it belongs, and it's just a few boards stronger than the 3D offset. But the shapes are kind of close, the Jackal Ghost being a little slower. The last comparison is kind of a special one. I'm comparing it to the original 3D offset. Yes, I still have one. It's in really good shape. And as you can see, the shape is close, but it's just less ball now. So I tried to move my target in, and that didn't work. It just hooked too much. So I said, okay, well, I'm just going to have to parallel move it out. So I moved maybe like 2 and 2 right, I think. And now it's more in the dry. It's where it needs to be. But you can see the shape of the 2 balls. It's kind of close. They're there. So like if you still have an original 3D offset, like you can just use this one as a step down from the other one to get too dry. So you remember how I said I think the cover was a little too dull? So what I did was now, after the comparisons, I took the ball into the pro shop and I hit it with a 3000 pad on the spinner, and now this is what it looks like. And you can see here's the comparison to the new one, which is on the right, and the original one that I was throwing before on the left. And you can see they look exactly the same. Now, as a comparison, here's what it looks like out of the box, dull. Again, it's too dull. And so I took it to 3,000 just to see if I could get it to go a little longer down the lane and give me just a little more pop on the back end and just save its energy a little more. And I was really happy with these results. Like, I couldn't have been happier. The look of the ball is almost exactly the same as the original. The sheen is exactly the same as the original. Now it's got the original core in it and as close to the original cover that I could get this cover to be. And it gets through the heads a lot better. I don't feel like I have to be further left than I need to be. And then that doesn't make me work as hard to get it to come back. So I love it with this 3000 Abralon just on the spinner. And I think if you have people in your shop or if you're looking at buying this and you'd like to get the ball a little quicker down lane, I highly recommend doing this to yours too. So let's talk about my final thoughts. First, I'm going to do things I liked, and then I'm going to do some things I don't like. It's going to be a new feature on all the reviews that I do. So the first thing I liked is that the ball roll and the motion are very close to the original 3D offset. The core obviously is the same, so it's going to roll pretty much the same. The motion is close. It's like that higher end benchmark, which fits the same niche as before. It's that high end benchmark kind of roll, but it's not going to be the biggest hooking ball in your bag, but it's incredibly dependable, really versatile. So here's what I didn't like. First, I think it's pretty obvious. I think the cover stock is a little too much surface on it. I don't know if the cover is too strong, but it's just too much surface. That 2000 dull, it's just not what this ball is meant to do. And I think people are going to have to maybe take it down like I did. And second, I don't know that the cover was fast enough on the back end. I would have liked to have seen it not as slow, just to get a little more pop in the back. So what's next? Well, Hammer, people at Hammer, if you're listening, here's what I think you should do next. You see this ball, the Black Widow Ghost, very popular, very recent release. What you should do is take that pearl cover stock and color it blue, blue pearl. And then you should take that Black Widow core out of it and put the 3D offset core in it and re-release the Super Flip offset. Because we all want it, and you know we do, and you know you're going to do this. Come on, Hammer. Don't let us down, Hammer. You know you're going to do this. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. Thank you again, as always, to Carlos Tabone here at the Kegel Connection Pro Shop in Fort Lauderdale, who drills all my equipment and gives me some great recommendations on layouts. If you're down here in the area, just pay him a visit, and maybe he can help you with your game. Until next time, thanks everybody for watching, and see you guys later.